Welcome, Bitovi DevOps applicants. I am Justin Meyer, and I'm the CEO of Bitovi, and with me is Mick McGrath, the Director of DevOps at Bitovi. We are going to do an extremely impromptu Google Hangout to talk about why folks might want to work at Bitovi doing DevOps work. So with no further ado, maybe we'll just start with that question. So Mick, why should someone do DevOps at Bitovi?
Yeah, lots of reasons. So if you love solving and enhancing software delivery problems, getting code getting code into production quickly and securely. If you feel like your practical exposure to industry tools and patterns is limited, you feel like you're not able to move forward and build new solutions, especially on earlier ones, if you feel like you're just kind of iterating, or if you feel unable to collaborate with other teams or other team members, then Bitovi is definitely worth looking into.
So Mick, you and I have debated quite a bit about the meaning of DevOps. That sometimes people think it means like the universe of software development, and other times it might mean just someone in a closet who like connects wires to the mainframe. What does DevOps mean to you?
To me, the goal of DevOps is generally just to be able to ship code quickly and reliably. Make a change and it goes into production. Like that's the core idea. There are two components that DevOps really uses to achieve this, and those two components are collaboration and technology. So for collaboration, it's developers and operations working together. So you can imagine a Venn diagram where one circle is developers and one circle is operations, and the idea is to make that overlap as big as possible. So this means developers moving more towards understanding how the infrastructure and deployments work. This means the operations side adopting more like rigid software engineering patterns and like good development practices and things like that. And so yeah, so I guess like the dream here would be that the developers wouldn't like the operations side of things would basically be abstracted from the developers so that you don't really have to think about all of the underlying components of the pipelining and all that sort of stuff. You can write your code and ship your code, your applications in production. And so on the technology side, there are a lot of tools and processes that take code from a developer's computer through to a deployed environment. So this includes source control, continuous integration with running tests and building artifacts, deployment patterns and processes, the observability layer. Once things are out in a deployed environment, how do you see what's going on? The alerts that come out of the observability layer and what you do with those. And so for us as a consulting firm, one of the things that we can really offer is the ability to facilitate a good DevOps environment to build and manage better products through both technology and collaboration.
Awesome. So you know that DevOps isn't for everybody. Maybe I'm one of those people. Why do you like DevOps?
I really enjoy the collaboration aspect. So there's a strong collaborative community around DevOps. It's really nice to see people working together to find good solutions to problems. And then on the technology side, I like to see and understand how systems interact with other systems. So I can push one commit and things just happen. Things build, deployments, monitoring, all of that stuff happens. And to me, it's very empowering to be able to build and help teams build automations that carry code from your local machine all the way through to production. And then you can essentially just push a button or make a commit, and then all of these mechanisms happen to carry your code all the way through securely.
What does someone at Bitovi do who's doing DevOps? Like what's their day-to-day like?
Yeah, so this really depends on the client, but generally we're aiming to make our clients happy, and we do that by enabling their developers to be more efficient, allowing their applications to be more resilient in deployed environments. So I'll go back to what I said earlier about patterns. We know what the automation pipeline looks like. There's source control, CI/CD, observability, remediation. And we work with our clients and their teams to find the best, to find and implement the best tools to fit each of those buckets. And it's often a unique scenario. So like one example would be a client might have a system on a computer in their office, and they need it to be more accessible for their users. So we'll work with them to find the best cloud provider and set up the deployment patterns to get their application deployed into the cloud provider. So another example would be maybe a client has a mature stack already, but they need enhanced observability. And so we'll work with them to find, based on their existing stack, what the best logging, monitoring, tracing tools are, and get those implemented and deployed into their stack for better observability.
So this video, as you know, is for people applying to Bitovi DevOps. What characteristics do you think they need to have to be successful at Bitovi?
Continually learning about new tools to be able to understand that best fit for our clients. Having an understanding of good development practices, like good coding standards and software engineering approaches. Being personable. This is a consulting role, and so being able to essentially make our clients happy is far and away more important to set expectations and manage communications than it is for the technology. Technology obviously is important too, but to make our clients happy, we need to be aware of and understand what technology we're implementing and doing, and that's a skill set that we really look for and take pride in Bitovi.
What do you think some of the challenges of DevOps are? What are the hardest problems that people will be facing?
Probably collaboration, especially with a lot of people. It's also the most valuable problem to solve, which is why we do consulting. On the technology side, the hardest thing is probably migration things. So it's common generally, but there are nuances to every use case. An example would be an enterprise has a big legacy system that it's a massive system that's all in one, and they want to have that so that each function of that big system can scale independently. So breaking that big application up into a lot of different pieces is usually a pretty hard problem, and there's generally a gap in understanding how to split those things up and automate the deployment of the components so that you don't need a team of 100 people to manage it. This is also why collaboration across dev and ops is so important, because there's knowledge in the ops side that's valuable to devs and vice versa.
Without being too specific, what are you most proud of? What Bitovi DevOps accomplishments are you think are the best?
The one at the top of the list is we're working with a client who's building an e-commerce application. It's a big application, has lots of traffic, a lot of different microservices and teams building each of those microservices. And I was instrumental in setting up the infrastructure for this client, the automations to build and test it all, and then to get it launched in a fairly tight time frame, which involved an ever-growing set of teams. So we started with a small set of teams, and now there's tens of teams working. And so really with this client, we were able to go from nothing, like 1 or 2 Docker containers and 1 team, to a fully deployed production application within about a year or so. And being instrumental in that, for me, was really interesting, and it's definitely a fun thing to work on.
Anything you'd like to say to someone thinking of applying to Bitovi?
Yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff. We promote a lot of internal fun culture. For example, one of the good things about our culture is that there are no dumb questions. Questions are very much encouraged, and collaboration with not only other DevOps team members, but also with other people inside Bitovi on the front end engineering side, or DevOps, or project management side. It's very much encouraged to collaborate with each other. So if you like interacting with other people and learning new things and solving interesting, challenging problems, then definitely check us out.